5 engines roaring, lined up at the start. Dust in the air, feeling the beat of my heart. This is the moment we've all waited for, the last race ever down at the Speedway core. Gear Series Championship, it comes to a close. Legends and dreamers, everyone knows. 5 drivers ready, with nerves ready to break, but only one champion, sealed in fate's wake. Only one will take the crown, as the crowd is cheering loud, running round that final bend, the last race ever till the end. Every turn, every twist etched in the track, fans on their feet, never looking back. The sun setting low, painting the sky. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. Victory and heartache written in the stars, tires burning rubber under the moon and Mars. Gonna chase that glory one more time. Smell the gasoline, feel the climb. From the pit crews to the fans in the stands, every soul's united, join hand in hand. For the love of the race and the roar of the fight, we honor the history in the last stretch of light. As the crowd is cheering loud, running around that final bend, the last race ever till the end. Every turn, every twist etched in the track, fans on their feet, never looking back. The sun setting low, painting the sky. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. Victory and heartache written in the stars, tires burning rubber under the moon and Mars. Mars gonna chase that glory one more time. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. 5 engines roaring, lined up at the start. Dust in the air, feeling the beat of my heart. This is the moment we've all waited for, the last race ever down at the Speedway core. Gear Series Championship, it comes to a close. Legends and dreamers, everyone knows. 5 drivers ready, with nerves ready to break, but only one champion, sealed in fate's wake. Only one will take the crown, as the crowd is cheering loud, running around that final bend, the last race ever till the end. Every turn, every twist etched in the track, fans on their feet, never looking back. The sun setting low, painting the sky. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. Victory and heartache written in the stars, tires burning rubber under the moon and Mars. Gonna chase that glory one more time. Smell the gasoline, feel the climb. From the pit crews to the fans in the stands, every soul's united, join hand in hand. For the love of the race and the roar of the fight, we We honor the history in the last stretch of life. As the crowd is cheering loud, running around that final bend, the last race ever till the end. Every turn, every twist etched in the track, fans on their feet, never looking back. The sun setting low, painting the sky. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. Victory and heartache written in the stars, tires burning rubber under the moon and Mars. Mars gonna chase that glory one more time. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. Five engines roaring, lined up at the start. Dust in the air, feeling the beat of my heart. This is the moment we've all waited for, the last race ever down at the Speedway core. Gear Series Championship, it comes to a close. Legends and dreamers, everyone knows. Five drivers ready, with nerves ready to break, but only one champion, sealed in fate's wake. Only one will take the crown, as the crowd is cheering loud, running around that final bend, the last race ever till the end. Every turn, every twist etched in the track, fans on their feet, never looking back. The sun setting low, painting the sky. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. Victory and heartache written in the stars, tires burning rubber under the moon and Mars. Gonna chase that glory one more time. Smell the gasoline, feel the climb. From the pit crews to the fans in the stands, every soul's united, join hand in hand. For the love of the race and the roar of the fight, we honor the history in the last stretch of life. As the crowd is cheering loud, running around that final bend, the last race ever till the end. Every turn, every twist etched in the track, fans on their feet, never looking back. The sun setting low, painting the sky. This is our last ride, let's make it fly. Victory and heartache written in the stars, tires burning rubber under the moon and Mars. Mars gonna chase that glory one more time. This is our last ride, let's make it fly.
It's the All-America Baseball League, brought to you by Dutch Miller Kia, where every deal is a real humdinger. Look, there's league superstar, cast iron arm Chris Miller, and one of the league's slowest base stealers, Wes the Bear Dog Thompson. Get a home run of a deal and make the play of the day driving off in your dream car from Dutch Miller. For a limited time, get 2.49% APR for 60 months on all 2024 brand new Sorrentos, or up to $2,500 Kia Finance bonus cash on select models. Shop 24/7 at DutchMillerKia.com.
Well, it's the last time ever. But hello, good evening, welcome back to the Kia series and to myself in the comms box for the first time in about 6 weeks. My name is Gareth Hall. I am your lead commentator and I am joined by my, I would say, distinguished co-commentator. However, he owes Michael OKK an apology for not only kind of brushing off Michael's first win in over 1,000 days, but not even catching it on camera. Peter Knighton is alongside me. It is indeed, and it is, as you say, a final race in the Kia series before we shut the doors on this absolute clusterfuck of a tier, as we are very much so, as we are here at the Superspeedway in France on F1 23, a much better game. But as you say, it is the Championship 5, which means that although we have 15 cars racing tonight, only 5 of them will be your champion leaving this one. And they are, as you can see on screen, your chase winner, Michael O'Keke, getting in by that singular point by winning his first race in over 1,000 days last week in Singapore. The most clutch of clutch wins you would ever see. Dan Price coming in, Ben Harrett definitely coming in as the favourite, Yuri Haselager going for a 3rd championship, and Florian Mayer in as well. So there are your championship odds. 12-1 for Michael to win this one, 5-2 Dan Price, evens for Ben Harrett, very much the favourite, Yuri Haselager at 5-1, and Florian at 6s. As just checking it. Yeah, I just check it into. It says that no one can hear Pete. So just see if we can. Well, I don't know because it says that you're talking and you're unmuted. So let me just play around with a few settings here just to make sure. Desktop audio. Let's try that. Let's see if that works any better. If not, we will reboot you and come back to it. But MK Bourne at this moment is currently lapping. So let's take you to the track for qualifying, which is loaded in very quickly. Don't worry, we will go back in the gaps to some of the stats about the C5 because well, qualifying is a little bit of a waste of time here in the Speedway because it is very much all to play for up until you get to the competition caution on lap 44. And 46, of course, restarted for a 6-lap run to the flag. MK Bourne to the line. So 105.148 for him. Let us see if we can get audio sorted for Peter. Video's capturing. Mic's capturing. Are you capturing? It seems I may have to go like that, and let's see, Peter, if you give us some of your best vocal work and see if that works.
I don't think you want to hear that, Gareth.
Oh, well.
No one wants to hear some of that best vocal
There we
from myself.
Right, hopefully that's better. I've reset you on Discord and on desktop on OBS, so hopefully you can all hear. Leroy is right; it is better without Pete. He's been doing his best work. Of course, Pete, a former full-time commentator in this year, back in season 2, back when I was racing. But MK Bourne will be happy with the 105.1. The next one to complete their lap will be Harry Collier, because Jacko has done 106.185. We missed that one. But Harry Collier making his way up to turn 1 now. Of course, this track, well, the argument is there between Owen and Yuri. Has it got 5 corners? Has it got 6? I don't care. It makes no difference, because all these guys need to do is get to the competition caution, and you will potentially see yourself as a race winner come the end of the evening. And of course, for those that are new to the channel, well, where have you been? We've been here in the Kia series for, well, it's been quite a while. As I will turn Pete up, because Leroy's saying you're very low, but I don't want you to echo effectively. Let's see.
Yeah, we don't want that. But also, you can tell it's been a while, Gareth, since you've been doing some streaming.
Yeah, basically. I mean, this is the first time I've booted up my my laptop and my PC in quite a while. So Harry goes third with a 107 flat, and that leaves Bazza, who finished on the podium in the Cup Series on last Thursday. Here we go. When we were last here. So what can he do in his second appearance in the Speedway in a matter of days? And Bazza, who was, I say fortuitous to finish on the podium. He probably could have won the race if he hadn't just decided to bottle it a couple of times. But where is he going to put this Brawn liveried car that we've seen him run for so many years here, a staple in the Kia series for the last 2.5 years of the Kia series existence? It is going to be 106.487 for Bazza, puts himself just 0.3 of a second shy of Jacko. And we've also got out on circuit both Sullivan Lewis, last season's champion, who did not make it into the Championship 5 this time around, which, as Jacko gave us the stat, means that with the fact that Khalifa is missing in the Cup Series, that Jackocar will now never have a driver that has won a championship and defended their crown, due to Sullivan not getting into the C5 and Rico, who is coming in as a free agent for the C5, which I'm sure he'll be delighted with. But Rico up to the line, but yet no defences of any titles, which means we're going to have someone new taking a Kia series tonight. Rico to the line, it's going to be a 107.585 for him. What's Sullivan going to do? He does a 105.4, so puts himself 0.3 shy of MK Bourne in P1. Outlap now for Jess, which means whilst that's going on, I will quickly give you a little bit of a rundown of our Championship 5s. As Yuri says, what the hell is that echo? I don't quite know. Pete's audio is not coming through correctly. If I put you through as output, and then if I go properties, make your default desktop audio, let's turn you right up. I don't quite know why the audio is coming through my desktop as well. I'll play around with that. Do let me know how it's sounding, guys, because I cannot hear the stream. And Michelle, my wife, came in and was pointing at the fact that she can hear Pete, so she is one of the very few people that'll be watching this trash tonight. I'm going to celebrate Peter with a glass of non-alcoholic cider tonight. So going to enjoy what has been 22 months of commentaries, and very enjoyable at that, as Jess is completing her lap. Of course, another driver that has completed several of the speedways across the Cup Series and Kia. And what is she going to do tonight? Looking to challenge around about the 106s, might even get into the 5s. It is a 5.72. Good lap there from Jess, puts herself onto the provisional second row of the grid. Peter, are you there?
I'm still here, and hopefully everyone can hear me, and I'm not echoey. But I hope anyone watching is a big fan of ASMR, considering how many bubbles they could hear crackling as you poured that glass of a poor form of non-alcoholic cider. But yes, good luck from Jess. Mike's time, I believe, is slower than what he did on Thursday. Sullivan's, I believe, is around about similar to what he did. It's a great lap from Jess. Rico, I believe, is only racing because he raced on F123 and couldn't be bothered to get F124, which is why he didn't turn up for this season. So we've got Dustin next, and for the first time this season, something I was going to mention earlier, we didn't see Ben Harrett, the first man out on track.
No, you're quite right, because in the C5 you get to choose, those that are competing in the C5 get to choose their quali slots. Of course, you want to leave it as late as possible because it's going to be dry. We leave it dry for the championship, for the Speedway, just to make sure that it's not absolute chaos. So Ben will be coming out late on in this one. Dustin Rolko, Fozzie Bear 70, out making his final appearance in Jackocar for the foreseeable future, of course, because a lot of these guys, now that the Kia Series is coming to a close, will find their time in the orange brand coming to an end, whilst Cup Series has only got, what, 2 races to go? Just Mexico, and then they have their Championship 5 at Abu Dhabi in 2 weeks' time, which means that we've got a build-up to film shortly. So Fozzie starting his lap. Jake has retired from his without setting a time, so we'll watch Fozzie's full lap in this white and red machine, making his way around turn 1, straighten the car up as soon as possible, and now it's all about ploughing down the Mistral straight at full speed and trying to avoid any bumps, any lumps, and carrying as much speed through turn 2 as possible. And Pete, we were here last week. You found yourself in the wall. I found myself being tagged by Jake and Jake O'Sullivan losing my front tyre. So it wasn't a great week for us too. But overall thoughts of the Speedway. You talking means I can actually listen to the stream to see why you're echoing.
Yeah, I do like this idea, because where else do you see that does this kind of format where you can make up your own lines? Every driver will pick a different line. The track's wide enough for people to go 4 or 5 wide. Yes, there's very minimal corners, but that's the NASCAR aspect of racing that we would like to bring. Competition coursing brings everyone back into it, because as you probably saw on Thursday if you were watching, the field gets spread out quite quickly based on different people's driving styles, pace, driving off track as well, limits traction, and it brings the field back together, reduce damage. So if you do make a mistake and you do hit the wall, it's not always the end, but it has been for myself for the past 2 times, losing traction, as I do usually on track. Even if we were racing it normally, I'd have probably spun it out of that corner. But Fozzie with the slowest time on the board, scrap that. Scott with the slowest time now on the board.
Did you even do a 111?
Yeah, how? Were you even doing any? Did you go down the straight?
Right.
Did you open DRS?
Yeah, I just very tentative for Scott. As Robin Border on his lap now, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of Pete for a second, which is probably the best thing to do. If I just clear your audio entirely, is that going to fix you? desktop audio. There is literally no reason why you are echoing. I'm just seeing if it's anything to do with Discord. I don't think it is. But Rageman 1098, and where are you going, Sunshine?
I think he forgot to use any of his battery on his lap. He didn't use any of his battery. I was watching him and I was like, it's still on 100%. You haven't turned your battery on for your flyer. But it's still gone quicker than Scott, so maybe Scott probably forgot to put all 4 wheels on the car. I don't know. But now we're heading to the crunch time. The drivers, other than Michael and KK, who's already DNF'd.
Yes, Michael serving a quali ban for
Ah.
his incident in a late braking against Sullivan last week in Singapore. So that's why we'll see Michael starting at the back for his
fair enough.
first appearance in a Kia C5. Yuri, 2-time champion, looking to make it 3 tonight, would become the only 3-time champion in Jackocar if he does so. Of course, could be matched in the Cup Series if we see Jaco Sullivan, I believe, winning. Would be the only one that would be able to go 3 times, as Yuri around this circuit that he is all too familiar with now. It is all about
Florian, he's already on a lap.
yes, he is. You're right. So Florian is about to complete his. We're seeing some much nicer liveries, these guys. And Florian, another one of our drivers in the Championship 5, rounding the final corner. It looks as though this is going to be a competitive lap, pushing the top 4. It is 4th position. A 5.838 puts Florian currently into P4, with Dan Price about to finish his lap about starting his lap, with Yuri coming up to finish his as well. So a little bit wide there from Yuri, just about messes the wall. This is all about getting it as perfect as possible, keeping the foot pinned up to the line for Yuri. This is going to be a good time from the Dutchman. It's provisional pole. It's a 1:04.786. He takes it by, well, currently just shy of, or just over 0.4 of a second. Dan Price on a lap. Ben Harrett, the man who has won at the Speedway in the Kia Series and in the Cup Series, he is on his outlap, will be last out for the first time this season. Of course, as Pete said, complete role reversals in qualifying. All the guys that have been qualifying first have been the leaders in the points. However, in the Championship 5, the Championship 5 can elect to choose theirs. Oh, guys, massive back end loss there from Dan Price. May have cost him a couple of tenths of a second and might put him right in the middle of the pack, which is where you probably don't want to be at the start of this one. But keep the foot pin, keep it flat to the floor, up to the line. It's going to be tracking for a 4. It's 4.7. Great lap there from Dan Price. The man that was on pole position last time we were here, but he takes it by 0.7 of a second. But it's now Ben Harrett charging down the Mistral Straight, looking to snatch pole away. We've currently got 2 of the 5 Championship 5 contenders on the front rotor grid. Will Ben Harrett make it 3 of the top 3? Very deep there into turn 3. That's going to cost him so much time. Surely he's taken that too deep. Will that have cost him pole position? He's tracking. It's not looking as though it's going to be too quick. He's probably at 105s at the moment, maybe even slower than that. It is a 104, sorry, it's a 104.945, and that puts him P3 and does put him onto the second row, 3rd on the grid, and rounds out qualifying with Dan Price, one of your Championship 5 contenders, taking pole position and adding another stat to his stats that I will show you in between the race and or in between quali and the race. Pete, I can't work out why you're echoing. I've reset you. Unless you want to leave the Discord and rejoin and just see if it's anything to do with.
I can do that, and
yeah.
won't make a difference. It's better than.
Have literally no idea why you're
what
echoing.
happens.
There is no reason to it whatsoever. So that is qualifying done. So whilst that's happening, let's take you and show you the drivers that will be competing tonight here at the Speedway. It's a short track. That's why it says short. It's 53 laps, 100%. We will see a competition caution on lap 46. That means all cars will slow down. Pretend that there's a safety car on track. They will do 3 laps, or 2 laps really, following the real circuit, and we will get going at the commencement of lap 46 for a dash to the flag on lap 53. And it is all about surviving. Last season, when we were here, only 8 of the 20 cars survived to the end, which is shocking. But it was Dan Price that took pole position last time, a 105.461. He's gone even quicker this time, a 104.717. Takes pole position by 700ths of a second. But it was Ben Harrett last time that won the race and took the fastest lap, 106.442 for him. And he goes into tonight with the most wins this season. 5 wins on the season for Ben. 4 podiums, 6 poles, 71 playoff points, a massive haul of playoff points. No fastest laps, but 10 stage wins. He's led 136 laps. No Kia Series appearances. Of course, this is his first in the Kia Series, so he'll be looking for a debut win and debut championship. But he's got to go up against this man. It's Yuri Hasselager. 1 win in Belgium. 3 podiums, 2 poles, 40 playoff points of 2 fastest laps, 3 stage wins, 45 laps led. That's it from Yuri. But he is making his 5th Kia Series Championship 5 appearance, where he has already won 2 of 4. So 50% success rate so far. Can he improve on that? Well, he's going up against a man that is now entering his 2nd Championship 5 here in the Kia Series. It is Dan Price, who won in Great Britain and in Miami with 1 other podium, 22 player points. He led 27 laps this season, and he will be coming into this one quietly cautious as long as he can keep it clean, and we'll see if him and Ben Harrett can go toe to toe. It's Florian Meyer in for his 2nd appearance after both Dan and Florian made a rookie appearance in the C5 last season. He won the Mextex Racing. He took 1 other podium, 22 points, and this is, as I said, his 2nd appearance in the C5 after last season, and the chase champion for this season. It's everyone's favourite. It is the champion of our hearts. It's Michael Okeke. The most clutch of wins in Singapore last week. 2 podiums, a pole position that came out of absolutely nowhere as well. 12 playoff points, 3 fastest laps. He's won a stage, led 19 laps, and this is his debut in a Championship 5. And Michael will be going for gold tonight. Have I got anything else? I don't think I do. So let us go back to the action, and we'll be ready to kick off. In fact, I do have some stats that Michael has very kindly been collating, and impressively, I don't know if Pete saw this or heard this one today, that all the playoff competitors, obviously not the chase, and so not Michael, but all the players, got here by winning on their Joker. It's the only time ever that all 4 playoff competitors in the C5 have won their Joker legitimately. Yuri in Spa, Florian in Kota, Ben in Imola, and Dan at Silverstone. And a really impressive stat that has never happened before. So we go into this one with these guys all looking to complete what will be the 107th race in the Kia Series. Started on the 9th of February 2021, will finish on the 10th of December 2024. 1,400 days of the Kia Series. And, well, we've got an all-time leading appearance maker of Jess, making a 102nd start tonight. It is Yuri that's got the most amount of wins by stat padding his way through the last few seasons. 16 wins in. Disappointingly, Danny Quinn bottled tonight. Jamie Numbers as well should be ashamed of himself. He was given a seat to basically get him to a Championship 5, and he's just not bothered turning out for half the season. Sullivan on 8 wins. Ben Harrett 7 wins in his appearances here. Of course, 5 this season, 2 in previous seasons. Leroy and Jake Warrior on 6. Waste, former champion, on 6 as well. Mike Elsborn took 2 in a row this season. He's on 5. Michel on 5. Jack Ricketts on 4. And I believe that the most important one, myself, is there on, I think it's 2, should have been 3. Screwed over by so many others. But we're getting ready to kick off as Harry Collier had got himself disqualified on the formation lap. Of course, these guys it is no rules. So when it hits 5 red lights, you can go. Will they know this? I imagine everyone at the front will know this. Will everyone else? Because it is reduced damage, but we can definitely see tyres and bodywork go fly. As, well, I said it was the idiot parade the other day. As evidently no one can park properly. Let's kick it off for the final time here in the Kia Series. Let's send it home with a good race. It's an underway for Ben Harrett, who's absolutely surged off the line straight into P1. Sullivan P2. Dan Price down to P3 from pole position already. Behind, they're going to all filter and fan out here. We do not want to see anyone turn around, and Dan Price has already been clipped and spun. So the man coming in off pole position gets spun. I believe that was by Florian as well. So Dan down to 16th and last place. He is not out of this race. However, you've just got to get to the competition caution. So Ben Harrett can disappear up the road. Sullivan Lewis has got to the front. 1.6 seconds is the advantage. Harry Collier up to P3. Florian P4. Jess now fighting with Yuri and with MK Bourne for 5th position, as this is going to be the chaotic part of this race, as everyone finding their feet, trying to find their lines and learning where everyone else turns in, for this is probably the most dangerous corner on the circuit. And that is exactly why that's Michael caught up in a crash also with Jess, and Rico is out of the race already. No safety cars, but Jess will be into the box, I'm sure. These guys can pit anytime after lap 3 for their first stage, for their first pit stop. But Jake, you don't have to follow the track. Okay, but Sullivan up in the lead this one. 1.7 seconds is the gap.
Hopefully I'm not echoey on the stream, as I have returned. Yuri had a really poor start himself. It did drop down to about 11th. That's probably just a time restraint trying to catch up with the lines that people are taking. He's now recovered back up to 5th, battling with MK Board at the moment. He's got Harry Collier up ahead. But 3 of the 5 championship protagonists in the top 5, which is what you love to see. Ben had a really good launch off the start. Probably one of the few drivers that actually did get a good launch. Realising, oh, we've got a spinner. And I believe that is Harry Collier around. Yeah, and Michael gets promoted up to P5 with that little bit of contact. Florian down to 7th. It's all kicking off, and there's just such a long way to go. But what these drivers need to remember, even if you're at the back for the next 30, 40 laps, it all gets bunched up, and it's anyone's game back again for the final 6 laps of this race. DRS now enabled. Will it be beneficial? Probably not. It just gives people an opportunity to slipstream. We used to try and bump draft back in the day, didn't we, Gareth? We thought that might have been the thing with the reduced damage.
Yeah, it just isn't any quicker.
We found out that it just slows you down.
Does slow you down. There is no. It's effectively like pushing concrete if you go up near a car in front of you. As OKK and Yuri are working together, P4 and P5 at the moment, trying to get back to bridge that 3.7 gap that they've now got between themselves and MK Ball.
That's something you need to think about as well. This is something I was doing with Mike on. If you're in a 2-car battle, it's really easy to swap down DRSs and then get the slipstream from the other car when you get to the second DRS, rather than trying to battle like these two are trying to do. He's caught you something further behind.
Yeah,
actually a lot of position swapping. Was Jacker in that as well?
Rageman's gone for a spin. He just came across. I mean, that was like the red arrows of coming across Dan Price there. Almost ended Dan Price's race. I have no idea how they didn't crash. Okeko and Yuri still fighting away over P4. We've already got at least 3 cars with no front wing that will be coming into pit. It's not really a circuit where you need a front wing. Obviously, you lose out on turning. But as Pete said, you've just got to get to the competition caution. It doesn't matter if you're on your own for 90% of this race. Just make sure you get that car to the end, because we'll get basically another restart. And Jacko with Florian in P6 and P7 And they've also got Dan Price without a front wing for company. And Dan will be an absolute rocket ship in a straight line, but will feel like a sailing ship when it comes to the corners, trying to get it turned in, as he's watching Jacko on the inside and one of his C5 rivals on the outside. And the problem for Dan Price here is this corner here with no front wing. He's going to lose a lot of turn in, and especially get unsettled when he hits the curbing as he gets to the bump. But this is where he'll benefit with a lack of drag. Effectively, the overspeed he's going to get is obscene as he goes through the middle of the pair of them. Now up into P7, Florian's going to challenge him. Of course, the man on the inside has the preference when it comes to turn in, so if there's any contact, it's the one on the inside that gets to call the corner. Everyone else has to make way. But Dan Price, who was on pole position, was spun almost immediately by Florian, has made his way back up to Florian. They've got Jacko as up in front. Risky has now been passed by MK Bourne. Ben Harrett has gone with them. It's a 5.6 second lead they've now got at the front of this one. They're going to fight away, as I'm sure they did on, well, effectively, at least two of them did on last Thursday. But Sullivan now with LP2. Ben Harrett will just go with them, and hopefully these guys will just work together, just stay out and keeping themselves clean, as MK Bourne fastest lap of the race so far, 106.922.
Yeah, just a quick note as well. 4 drivers opting for the soft tyres to run for the first stint. I'm not sure how long they'll last, but I expect a double soft stint, especially at the end. Whether that makes a difference, it will help with cornering and braking, especially off track. But Ben and Mike have actually been helping each other really well to catch up to the back of Sully. Now, as you said, it's a 3-way scrap to the lead. These three now are either going to fight it out, and will bring Michael and Yuri back into the fight, or they're going to keep swapping the fact that the fastest car go in front, lead the way, get the slipstream of the cars behind, and that's what they're doing so far. The gap to Yuri and Michael is 5.5 seconds. That was about 3.5 about a couple of laps ago. So these guys at the front have really got the pace to pull away, but hopefully they don't get tangled in themselves, because Ben doesn't really need to get involved. He is the leading champion. If it stays like this, Ben wins the championship. It's not about winning the race, it's about just finishing ahead of your championship rivals.
Yep, that's right. That's if you are new, that is how it works. So you do not need to win the race. If you're in the Championship 5, you could end up finishing effectively 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. And whoever finishes in 11th would end up being your C5 winner. So with Ben Harrett currently with this one in P3, he would be taking the title. Sullivan does not want him to take the title. Of course, last season's champion, he's seen Ben Harrett come down, and he wasn't too happy that the man that has been in the championship C5 in the Cup Series has now been dominating, and doesn't want him to take the I think it rivals Sully's win record in a season, which is what Sully did last time around before he lost all talent for this time. But Ben Harrett now to the front. He will lead the lap. Unless MK Bourne has anything to say about it, because he's going to be right behind him, and we might actually just pip him as they get to the line. I think he does. MK Bourne leading that lap. Ben Harrett down to P2. Sullivan down to P3. Michael Okeke is working with Yuri, but they are just a little bit slower than the front three, and they've fallen now to 6.4 seconds behind. There is trading of positions. Dan Price still out there without that front wing. He has got one of his C5 rivals with him. They are in 6th and 7th. Jacko and Bazza are side by side for 8th and 9th, as Bazza sends it down the inside. He uses the same line as I do, but it's going to send him out wide. He kind of outbreaks himself there. And Jacko says, thank you very much, back down the inside, and he will not only take the position, but he should also get DRS, as we'll see if that rear flap is open. No, Bazza actually collects DRS there, so Bazza will go around the outside. Behind Harry Collier at P10, Jess, after being sent to the Shadow Realm, is in P11. Rageman, another one. I mean, they're all basically behind here with no front wings. Only Jake, who was basically following the track as normal, is down in 13th position. Fozzie takes a new front wing. Scott is doing Scott things. I mean, this is the most interesting interpretation of a speedway line I've ever seen. He's making up about 3 or 4 extra corners as he's now 15th position. Does he lift? Whoa. Jeez. Anyway, back to the front of this one. MK Bourne, Risky and Ben Harrett, and they are still nose to tail, working with each other. A bump draft there from Ben Harrett on Sullivan. If I was Sully, I'd just lift off the throttle and just slow him down. But he uses the outside line, makes Ben go to the inside. That means that Ben's going to have to slow earlier to hit the apex of the corner. What will the guys do? They'll go much wider. They'll give him a better turn in for the next corner. And this is where you'll see the switchback from MK Bourne. But he doesn't manage to carry the speed just yet. This is where he'll get the benefit of that double switchback. Gets back into the slipstream, will have DRS, and will most likely take the lap once again back off Ben Harrett as they cross the line to start lap 10.
Sully's made a mistake, and I believe he's hit the wall because he's now coming into the pits. This is a lot earlier than I would have expected if he was staying with the front 3. Is it a nose change? It is a nose change, so I think he's made a mistake, hit the wall, coming out of effectively, is it turn 4, is it turn 5, who knows, is it a kink, still debatable, but yeah, that's really affecting him now. He's going to be further down the field, but he's going to be on the pressure tyres. He's got to run these now pretty much all the way to lap 45 when the competition caution will begin, end of lap 45 where he can make his second mandatory. He comes out in P9. He's got Harry Collier behind him, who had an incident earlier on, who's got no front wing, gets down the inside. Sully will go for the switchback, take the tight line, better exit, gets the move back. Hopefully Sully, with that downforce on the front wing, will be able to not get held up, because he's going to want to use this pace in the free air to try and catch up when it comes to the time of the pit stops for Ben and Mike Keltermore to get back in that fight, because his mistake is going to cost him here. He's probably going to drop, he won't drop down when all the first pit stops, he'll probably still be effectively P3, but this battling is not going to help. Michael and Yuri, even though they're trying to work together, it's not really helping them to try and catch back up. Florian and Dan, 2 championship protagonists, we're trying to work together as well, try and catch up to top 4. But the gaps are starting to show, but we've got at least a couple of cars trying to help each other out, trying to give us some entertainment as well, but it's just going to be back and forth for the next 40 laps.
Yeah, so Selin basically turned into a podcast for the next sort of 20 minutes or so, as we just discuss how these guys are continuing. It is all about getting to the competition caution. Around about lap 44, the yellow flag will come out. Everyone will slow down. The second mandatory stop will be made, as what do we see from Yuri's moving all over the circuit here, trying to find a way past Michael, as MK Bourne and Ben Harrett trading positions once again, as Michael is, as you say, just a little bit slower than the guys up front, as check in with Ben and MK, because although they will just trade positions working with each other, just flicking, they were clearly side by side, as there is Yuri and Michael. Michael, of course, coming in with that 1 point advantage over Sullivan by taking the victory in Singapore last week. The late safety car coming out and working perfectly for him. It looked as though his season was ending. And Sullivan, well, he used myself to try and get himself the points he needed, as that's Dustin getting out of the way. There's no such thing as blue flags in the Speedway. Dustin, get involved, stay in the DRS. But
I don't think he's in his car because he's taken the normal racing.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
So he has rejoined the lobby, but I don't think he's been able to take control of his car again. Just been on board with him a little bit now, and obviously he's taken the normal circuit.
Well, that'll be interesting when someone comes up to him.
Yeah, if he's going to be going through a slow course like there, right in front of Dan Price, taking corners normally where people are going to be taking them flat, especially this one here. If he comes sailing through the final corner at this kind of slow speed and someone comes flying through, luckily no one's going to be there. It's going to be Jackocar and Bazza coming through that segment now. Hopefully he can get back in control, because AI cars are just going to be causing chaos, especially if it's a championship 5 driver gets involved in that.
Yeah, just also, by the way, just Googling, apparently it's something to do with your PlayStation while you're echoing. So I have no idea what it is, but I just quickly Googled it and said that it's something to do with joining PS5 into a Discord chat, which is great. Thanks for the optimization. Yuri still with Michael. These guys just kind of sitting, doing what they need to do, get to the yellows. Of course, Yuri taking a Joker win in Belgium. What a surprise at one of the most boring circuits on the game, and just takes forever. I'm okay with this taking forever, being 100%. There's a purpose. It just takes about 9 hours to get around a lap at Spa. But the man that hates being Dutch and desperately wishes he was Belgian always takes his Joker there, and he managed to take the victory. But the only one to his name this season. It's not been an all-time classic of a season for Yuri, but he did enough to get in to the Championship 5. Of course, 5 of them for him, the most out of anyone in the Kia Series history. And well, he'll be looking to make it a 3rd title, but to do so he needs to get to the end of this race, and needs to do so ahead of Ben Harrett and of Michael Okeke, who is technically 2nd overall in the race, because as we've been saying, you do not need to win the race if you're in the Championship 5. You just need to finish ahead of all the others that are in the Championship 5, and they are, as I've been told off actually by my wife Michelle. She said, stop using people's real names because I don't know who you're talking about. So Michael Okeke is OKK21, Yuri Hasselager is Speedway Racer, Dan Price is Daniel P. Wilnut, Florian is Excellent Funky, and we also have that's our 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're all next to each other. P2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all your Championship 5s. As but for anyone that is curious for when I'm saying everyone's team, as that's a big snap there from Michael, manages to recover, and whilst Yuri's going to get DRS, Michael does just about stay in the slipstream, which will save him, because that was a huge snap as he got back on the power a little bit too early, as these two are watching with Dan, who's doing a great job without a front wing to stay with Florian. So they're just doing what they need to do at the moment. But if you're, as I said, if you are curious to when I'm saying drivers' names, of course, this is the last race ever, so it's not going to make any difference. But for posterity, MK Bourne is Mike Kelterborn, Ben Harrett is Ben 4 Spurs 96, Yuri Hasselager is Speedway Racer, Michael Okeke is Okeke21, Florian Mayer is Excellent Funky, Dan Price is Daniel P. Wilnut, Jack Ricketts is the boss man, Jacko, Barry Baldwin, then we've got Sullivan Lewis is Speed Risky, Harry Collier is Harry Collier, Jess Ball is Jess Gamer, Robin Border is Rage Man, Jake Warrior is down there in 13th, Scott Hayes is 14th, and Dustin Rolko was in 15th. Who knows? Seems to be that he is all over the place, and one driver that is all over the place is Sullivan Lewis, who is out of this race. And Sully has put it in the wall. Where? Oh, he's put it in the wall at the exit of turn 5.
Yeah, I did that. When did I do that? Not the race just gone for the Super Speedway and Cup. Season before, I put it in the wall there, and yeah, you're just trying to carry as much speed through those corners. Do you see more incidents?
Yeah, Ben Harrett having a massive snap there as he was trying to lap Robin Border, Rageman 32, and I think he sees that happening and thinks, well, I'm getting rid of these tyres, not having that happen again. So he's going to trundle down the pit lane. Is he going to take a new front wing? Yes. No, he's not. They just had it there anyway. So we've seen so many new front wings so far that I wouldn't be surprised if everyone goes for a new one just to make sure that they've got their full complement of downforce. But we've got...
Kelterborn's made a mistake. Yuri's now right on the back of him.
He is. And Yuri's not very quick, so Mike must have made
not quick enough
terrible
to
one.
make up 8 to 10 seconds.
Which, if that is the case, that is going to play very nicely for Ben Harrett, who should cycle back out into the lead of this one quite comfortably, because Mike on the medium tyres. Ben started on the softs, so his tyres did go off earlier, but of course with that mistake means that although these guys will be running a little bit longer, they'll be looking to go to the end of the first stage, which is at the end of lap 23, I believe. So yes, end of lap 23 and then the end of lap 45 are your two stages. The points basically don't mean anything apart from being added to Mr. Ricketts' final stats before we close the book on the Kia series. And I'll leave all the thank yous until the end of this one, but it's been more than 3.5 years of some pretty terrible, fun, crazy, chaotic, messy, frustrating, outright dangerous, and sometimes decent racing. As Yuri tries to go around the outside of Mike, goes to the inside with a switchback. Mike's going to try and come back at him, and it means he's going to have the outside line. He's going to try and cut back underneath him. Is Mike bold enough to go for this? Oh, that's a spinning car. They just have to avoid there. Who was that? That was Scott right in the way. That's not what they wanted to see at all, but they both split him. As Yuri leads the lap. MK Bourne wants to get him back. These two are basically fighting over leading a stage. Dan Price, he has actually dropped Florian by 2.6 seconds now. So maybe an instant or a mistake there from Florian. Still got a front wing, but maybe an error from him. Ben Harrett now 9.4 seconds back. So let's go from the interval to the leader so you can see what the gap is. So a pit stop in hand for Ben Harrett. 22 seconds is his gap between himself and MK Bourne. So that should comfortably put Ben into the lead of this one. Jacko 25 seconds back. He will be he's fighting away with Bazza as he has been for basically 95% of this one. They've now got Dustin, who looks as though he has got back into the car. Of course, if you are lapped, you will be able to unlap yourself at the end of this one. So Dustin will be able to. That was an aggressive attempt to overtake. Just draft him. There's all behind him. Oh no, but that is Dustin isn't back in the car. He was. For some reason, he's taking the chicane correctly, but his car was cutting. That made no sense. I'm pretty sure his car cut the last corner, like the corner before. No, yeah, he's having an issue. There you go. You can see he's in and he's out. So he's cutting corners and then he's not cutting corners. So he is definitely having some connection issues tonight. MK Bourne still leading, lap 20 of 53 here. And whilst we have these guys all fighting away, we'll put you back on interval so you can see some of the gaps between the cars. Pete, have you got any good memories from the Kia series from when you were commentating, and also when you've been technically taken part? You've done a couple of races.
I've done a couple of races. I think I've done 2 in total, to be honest. I've done... My first appearance was in Saudi, where there was an orchestrated to try and give Speed Sully the victory that Jacko decided to nick at the end after having gotten a 5-second penalty removed. And then Monaco this season, where I tried to do driver comms. We chose the worst track for me to try and do driver comms. I can't stand Monaco at the best of times, never mind trying to be a driver commentator and try and put full focus into it. But in terms of commentary, speaking of my co-commentator who was with me, he's now in the Discord. After retiring from this race, Sullivan Lewis is with us. He's decided to join in with the fun and games for the final time.
I thought, why not come and grace you all with the last season's champion, and
you just made it worse by Gareth now got to do some more fiddling with.
You're both echoing, and I have no idea why. Oh, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
It would be because they did the 30th anniversary of PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for that, Pete. Yes, it was the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. Great insight.
glad
No,
that
I
wasn't
said,
just
I
me.
said the word, and because it's the voice control, it pops up with the thing on the side where it makes you want to take it somewhere. I was like, go away.
Sake.
But I've changed it to the PS2 sound effects because that's my childhood and whatnot.
I'm trying to
I didn't know
work
whether
out
that was making an issue with the sound, so I switched it back off, and obviously it hasn't made a difference because I'm still apparently echoing. So it's just a Gareth problem. So, albeit wanted to use Discord. Why are there crickets?
That was in between your ears. So,
This is making it nice and enjoyable, yes.
yes. So, Sully, tell us what happened.
It was really strange. I mean, I dropped it turn 4, 5, whichever that left-hander is, a few laps before I pitted anyway, or the lap I did pit. Just hit a curb and unsettled the car, so I thought it's fine. I lost the front wing and I jumped straight in the pits. And then this time I just snapped. I got through the corner in a straight line, over a curb, it snapped left, so I corrected right, but there's a wall on the outside. But I wasn't in this fight anyway.
No,
So
no, it's
it does not matter. As
no.
long as Ben Harrett doesn't win to equal my 6 race victories in a season stat, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think it's. You said that. I was talking earlier that you didn't want Ben Harrett to win. He's looking. I mean, we know how good he is here at the Speedway, but Michael Okeke and Bazza fighting away over 6th and 7th. There was a lot of chaos at the start. I don't know if you saw Dan Price getting clipped and spun by Florian. I believe it was straight away. We've had at least 4 cars in the wall. We've got Rageman out, Rico out, of course yourself out, Dustin struggling with connection issues, Scott struggling with talent issues, and we've still got Bazza with Michael, and now Yuri once again fighting for this stage point, and it will go to Mike. So Mike takes the first stage by 1/10 of a second, which I'm sure will irk Yuri to no end, even though it means absolutely nothing apart from the fact that that Dutch twat gets to stat some more pads.
Yuri was actually quite reserved going into this. He was very just sort of, it's all about survival, get to lap 46, and that's when the real race starts. And just a quick note on Rageman's DNF is he was taken out by the AI of Fozzie going around what is the
We
actual
thought that might
last
happen.
corner. Yeah, it was very comedic.
Fozzie's now back in his car because he's behind Yuri and Mike, and when they went through the second lap corner was in the previous lap, he was taking these kind of racing lines. So I think Rageman has just gotten a little bit unlucky with that, but it's not a championship 5 protagonist. We don't really care. Sorry to say.
So I'm just looking through my soundboard that's just been added to Discord to see what else I can play to. I mean, there's a lot of.
Oh yeah.
I think,
Just having fun with it. Why don't you?
yeah, I
don't
might
blame
as
you,
I
to
might
be
as
honest.
well. I think a lot of it. There's voice mod, which I haven't got. I used to have that voice mod downloaded, but
Voice mod would have been hilarious.
yeah, I got rid of it because I didn't think I'd ever need it. But
Yeah, if you'd have had one to have a Finnish accent, you could just do Casper all the way.
I could do. I know.
He doesn't need a voice mod for that though, do he?
Shut up. It's not the same without Jacko.
That's true. Jacko doesn't.
It's
hang
not
on.
fair.
Down into the box.
Everything
Well,
about
that's
Casper
off.
is not fair. The fact that he came into the party after not coming in, and he was like, "Well, that was a great race, wasn't it?" I was like,
Yeah, I remember
"You
that.
little weasel." Everyone else having to listen to each other. To be fair, I thought everyone going in the party was fucking hilarious. So I think it worked really well. As much as everyone, some people seemingly hated it. Yuri still battling away with MK Bourne. I think Mike's going to dive into the pit lane. Yes, he does. Don't worry. Even though you go into it at 160 miles an hour, the game will reset you. You will not go flying into the wall. So that leaves Yuri out on circuit. MK Bourne in. Ben Harrett. Well, let's see what the gap is, because of course Mike did make that error, and he's not even released from his box yet. So Ben Harrett's going to take a massive lead. and will be driving around on his own for the next 20 laps.
Yuri's just going to stay out, I believe, just to stat pad these laps led, because that's what he's like, innit? He wanted to lead the stage, stat pad. He'd want the championships to be like, oh, look at me, I'm the one who's won 3 championships. I'm the only driver to have won 3 championships, albeit half as worthy as the Cup Series. But no offence, Sully, even though you've won one yourself.
No, it's all good. He'll never have 6 wins in a season, so...
Yeah, he's only managed to get 1 this season, which is surprising.
Exactly.
2-time Kia Series champion, only managing to get 1 win in the season where he's now featuring in the C5 yet again. Poor lad. I feel like he shouldn't be there, should be other drivers to be there. Ain't that right, Jacko? Although if you managed to show up on the races where you needed to show up, yeah, you could have been there yourself. But you're why not end the season with a little bit?
With a
of
little
fireworks?
bit of the Pete ramble. Oh, how
yeah,
we
why
will
not?
not miss it.
Oh, hold on a second.
If it's
We're
it,
holding
My
for Hall.
on the line corner.
my voice mod has just restarted, and you two sound like normal human beings.
Huh?
So I mean, if Leroy's still watching, do let us know if Pete and Sullivan actually sound normal.
Leroy's probably fallen asleep, to be brutally honest.
So I have no idea
He
what.
was- He was there 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. But,
Was
you know,
he?
Leroy, he's probably having a smoke.
Oh yeah, probably is.
So, to fill this brief gap, and I say brief because it probably won't be brief, Yuri, yet to stop. Ben, 18 seconds. And
Florian-
somebody help me with the 5th.
Well, it's all 5 in the top 6.
Florian in the 5th.
Would make
yeah.
it easier for you, Sully. You can tell it's been a while since you've done some commentary. but
Yep. And I'm still better than you.
rude.
Sorry, I was uncalled for. But it's the Gear
Sorry.
series, and it's the last one, so...
I'll take it. It's fine. I'm used to it.
Well, I was just saying before you joined, Sally, or you might have just joined. Have you got any particular memories of the Kia series? Obviously, your Championship 5 win, I'm sure, will be up there. But any from your commentary or other races you've been part of?
It's hard to really sort of pinpoint an exact moment from the Kia series. Vegas particularly stands out as a dominant race for me. Nobody could catch me. Nobody was on pace with me that particular evening, of which sort of just boosted the confidence even more. But that C5 race was just chaotic. I did not lead that race until the last few laps. So, like you say, that one is a bit of a standout in terms of the actual racing, that and Vegas, really. The rest of my wins I don't really remember, if I'm honest. I think it came at a point where I was just sweating this game.
God, Dan just...
Garrett?
Sorry,
Yeah, I'm on board with Dad as well. That
Yeah.
was close.
Dan Price, I mean, that was borderline suicide there. He lost the back end turning in for the kink for the final corner. And
Yeah, I think he went over that bump.
yes,
with a little
yeah,
bit of
I mean,
steering
how he
and-
just avoided
yeah,
the
don't do
wall is beyond miraculous. So he keeps himself in the race. Lap 30 of 53 done. And we've got, as expected, some Kia Series style gaps formed. So not even one driver within 3 seconds of anyone else at the moment. The closest gap is Dan Price and Florian, 3.4 seconds between the pair of them. We do have stops that have been made. The only one that hasn't is Yuri out there with a 15-second advantage. He needs to make two mandatory stops. Everyone will make their second.
Hopefully
During
he
the...
hasn't taken any strategy advice from Kieran.
Well, I was just about to say, maybe he's doing the Kieran strategy of for some reason not pitting because you want to lead the stage and then putting yourself effectively a lap down and not meeting the restart. But Big Brain Spears knew what he was doing, apparently. As Ben Harrett gets by, who is that? One of the was that Mike?
Harry, I believe.
Yeah, here is Harry down in he's ninth position. So Ben now lapping up to ninth. So all the guys behind him will get to unlap themselves under the competition caution. So everyone will have a chance to win this race. So the 12 that are still circulating, of course, Fozzie looks as though he is in and out of the lobby. Not quite sure if he is on a stable enough connection to complete it, but I'm sure he'll be giving it a go. But definitely 12 of them will have an option and a chance of winning the race. And it wouldn't be too bad to say that you were the last ever winner of the Kia Series, both the race and of course the C5, because all the C5 competitors are still in the race. They are currently Yuri Hasselager in P1, Ben Harrett in P2, Michael Okeke in P4, Florian Mayer in P5, and Dan Price in P6. So all still within the top 6, but very much spread out and on different strategies, different tyres, and just kind of doing their own thing. Yuri finally pits lap 31 of 53.
It's funny you mention that it'd be nice to say you were the final winner of the Kia Series, etc., etc., because about lap 4, I said to the guys, if I actually win this race, I'll be really annoyed. And of course, 15 laps later, the inevitable happened and I didn't win this race. But I was rather annoyed that I had a good start.
You did have a very good start. As Dan Price forgot you could go on 5, so he was immediately jumped.
As did Yuri, actually.
Did
He
he?
was focusing on his revs, is what he
Yes, of course.
he told us.
Yes. As he's
Focusing on his revs rather than spamming the upshift button. Not really. That's what you're supposed to
he's
be
on
doing
medium
when you
traction as well. Doesn't need to worry about his revs.
win. Yeah, exactly. He'll be alright.
So,
Well, Dan and Florian getting really close there.
Yeah.
Going towards turn 1. That was nearly an airplane crash.
and
That
these
has been
these
fine.
two have basically been attached by the hip for the entire race. I'm pretty sure it was Florian that spun Dan on lap 1 before they even got to the first corner. Dan's managed to stay with him without front wing, but now he's got it back, and they're back again. And I mean, obviously, I think you two are going to be slightly biased because we both know that you two wouldn't like to see a Ben Harrett Championship 5 victory here. But given the potential for carnage come the competition caution restart, how aggressive would you potentially be with just trying to unsettle Ben on that restart? And I mean, bump and runs are there to be taken on the last lap, but elbows out surely for that sprint to the flag for the last 6 laps of the race after the yellow flag goes green once again.
I'll let Pete take this one first. He's probably been there more than me.
What, into a champ? I've done one championship 5.
No,
race
into
and
the
I won
last
it.
6. I meant last 6 laps of a race.
Really?
If
You're
he-
talking to the
he
guy
very-
that's got the most DNFs. in
He
the
very
Cup
rarely
Series?
sees the last 6
Well,
laps of a
true.
race.
Recently, I've done a lot better with my keeping the cars out of walls. But yes, you really need to take the opportunity of the bump and runs, especially when now they're allowed on the final lap. Something that Kieran didn't do to Jake and Silverstone C5. He should have done that into the club section. He would have won the championship. He would have been a 2-time champion rather than Jake. Well, that would have been his first championship rather than Jake becoming a 2-time champion. Either way, take your opportunities when they're there. Dan making a really tight line, nearly clips the wall. I think if you're in the top 5 and you're able to break away from the cars behind, especially in this race, just keep it clean until the final race. Because what I noticed, I had a nice curse while watching the final couple of laps on Thursday. Every driver I decided to spectate ended up spinning. I was on board with Yuri, he spun. I was on board with you, Sully, you spun.
Yeah, I
was-
know.
And then I went on board with Ben Harrett, and he obviously didn't take the victory, managed to get Baz at the podium. but I really wanted him to spin. No offense, because I just felt like me being on board with that specific driver would cause chaos in those final couple of laps. So, will I be riding on board with Ben Hart? Most definitely. But it's his to lose. He's got the pace. He's out front. Mike has been doing very well with his fresh tyres to close the gap. It's now 4 seconds. Mike's got some really good pace around here. He's shown it in qualifying. He showed it last week. And he's shown it throughout the Superspeedways that we have done. So he could be a potential race winner. He's not in the Championship 5, unfortunately. Something that also you need to remember, not everyone remembers the race winner if you're not a Championship 5 contender when it comes to the C5s. It tends to be a race win that isn't really celebrated too much because you haven't won a championship. All the glory goes to the guy who takes home the trophy at the end of the day. But we'll see what happens. All the championship protagonists are up there, all going to be going for it in the final couple of laps. And we're getting closer. We're on lap 35. Only 10 more to go until we hit that competition caution. Everyone else is seeming to keep it out of the walls and facing the right way. Although Dan and Floyd are getting really close together, especially on the run down towards turn 1. They get really close. I don't know whether they want to decide which lines they're taking through that as they run over all the curbs and the bumps as they head towards effectively turn 1. But it would be horrendous for these two to be coming together, especially since they're both fighting for a championship and both of them making their second appearance in the Kia C5 as well.
Yeah, doing a good job, these two, just keeping it clean, doing what they need to do, just get to the competition caution. They are slowly starting to catch as I look through all the people on circuit. I believe that's Jess in front. It is Jess in front of them. So Jess down in P10. She's not having the best race of her Jackocar career. Of course, a one-time winner here in the Kia Series, I think. Definitely won in Australia, I believe it was, when Jamie Bromley allowed her across the line to take the victory. Of course, we've had a number of one-time winners, the likes of Harry Collier, the likes of Matt Rosemond winning in Monaco a few seasons ago. Jess Ball, another one of those. Thought she'd taken another victory last week in Singapore, but had to settle for P2 after Michael's 10-second time penalty was rescinded. But Jake Warrior, another multi-time winner. I'm pretty sure he's been to a Championship 5 as well. But down in a P11. Scott, who has asked us how we're doing, he's just kind of enjoying the race by the sound of it, but just on his phone, just deciding to chill out tonight. He's 1 minute 10 seconds behind Jake. So, I mean, one would assume that Scott is... I mean, Scott, you've been racing around this circuit now for 37 laps, and you still haven't worked out that isn't the right line to take around that corner. just take it. Don't take it so deep. Turn in tighter, and straighten the car up earlier.
At this point, I don't think it matters if it takes him 45 laps to realise the correct line.
This is where Scott ends up winning the race, isn't it? So.
Oh, we'd all like to see that.
Quietly, MK Bourne is now only 2.5 seconds behind Ben Harrett. So Mike actually catching Ben as they get towards somewhat towards the competition caution, as Dan and Florian still nose to tail. Do not screw this up now, boys, because there is only a few laps left to go until you get to the competition caution. Dan Price taking a very aggressive line around the outside with DRS and moves up into P5. Ben Harrett, of course, on 21 lap old tyres. Reverse numbers, 12 laps for MK Bourne. That may be the reason why he is catching, as Dan on the softs is attacking and retaking back off of Florian, but I imagine this position will trade once again with the DRS for the German as he goes around Dan Price. Of course, these two, as we've said, in their second ever C5. They both made it in on their rookie seasons last time around, adding their name to quite a short list of drivers who have made it into a Championship 5 during their rookie season. that one of those drivers is myself, who made a C5 in the second season, I think it was, in the Kia series, when Pete and Sullivan were your two commentators as they go side by side into the final corner. This is playing with fire a little bit, boys. You've just got to get for the next 4 laps, and then you can chill out, strap on some soft tyres, and go to the end.
Yeah, it's a little bit risky, but I mean, they've pulled it off so far. And yes, you heard that correctly. The fastest man of Team Speed, Speed_guy 39, was in the Kia series. Just gonna leave that one.
I was. Do you know what? I actually, at the end of that season, Jacko messaged me and he was like, "I've got a space in the Cup Series. Would you like to race in it, or would you like to stay in the Kia Series?" And because I'm not a pussy like Yuri Haslager, I said, yes, I'd like to go up to the Cup Series and race with the big boys. And, well, what did we get from Yuri when he was moved up to the Kia Series? "Oh, gosh, I really wish I was back in the Kia Series. I'm too slow for the Cup Series. It's terrible down here. I'm so slow. I have to go back to the Kia Series. We're back with my idiot friends." And, well, he came back, won a championship immediately. So he didn't need to come back to... So really, his second title doesn't mean anything. It's about as valid as Pete's, his COVID title.
Hey! Why do you all downgrade the COVID title?
Pete's still here.
Yes, I am still here. Why do you downgrade it from being a COVID title? Well, you do realise that no one did anything else other than sweat the game. So therefore, I had to go up against...
If your title in that season is about as valid as if Ben Harrett wins this one, all you had to do was use your forefinger and your left thumb and left forefinger because you were on a pad.
Yes, that's because I didn't have a wheel. And then as soon as I won the championship, I bought a wheel, and now look at me. 160 Cup Series races without a win. Having given yourself a Cup Series win, Sully, yeah.
True, yeah. Austria season 2, we'll not forget it.
Over 1,000 days winless.
So many days, yeah. So
you've got 2 more chances to win, Pete. Is it happening?
I do. Is it fuck? We'll see what happens.
Well, it's not. It's obviously not happening next week or this week because I'm winning in Mexico.
I know, but if it did come down to it, I would actually.
And still getting knocked out.
No, I would let you win, Gareth, just because I want.
I will be furious if people don't just pull to the side and let me win, just because.
Oh, I would.
I would imagine the tears as I knock one of the people out through.
Not Corey out. Oh, brilliant if he knocked Corey.
I don't. It wouldn't even be Corey getting in. I did knock Kieran out. That'd be even funnier.
That would be funny, but yeah. Oh. I don't know whether someone's lost some front wing or not. I just saw something yellow flying while on board with Mike, who has actually caught up to Ben and overtaken him. He's now got Jacko up ahead. They're about to lap. They're inside the top 8 now of lapping cars. Jacko swiftly taking the wide line to let these two go through. If I was Jacko, just try and stay with them.
Yeah.
Try and follow their lines. Something to learn when it comes to the final couple of laps, because clearly being a lap down means you are not picking the optimal lines, using the tactics right, but you're just going to make it 3 wide. Why don't you? Get involved, Jacko. Throw one of them on the bus.
He takes a very wide line, does Jacko. He's driving to Marseille as a
I was going to say.
As Michael Okeke is in P4, Dan Price is still battling away with Florian. This race long, I'd love to count the amount of overtakes these guys have made between each other. As Florian peels back in for a little bit of slipstream. As you say, the lead did change, so MK Bourne did catch and pass Ben Harrett. Just those tyres starting to go off as Yuri's actually slowly starting to reel them as well. Doesn't mean anything because we will go to the competition caution within the next lap. So Ben Harrett watches as that is MK Bourne and Bazza. And Bazza does not care who you are or where you are in the championship. He will fight you for position, even though he's a lap down. He's in 7th position, so the guys at the front have now lapped up to P7, which is a pretty impressive job. But here comes Ben Harrett with a double toe, moves to the outside of MK Bourne, gets another slipstream off of Bazza. He will peel back in, and will he take the inside line? Bazza brake tests him. What's that all about?
I feel like I looked down at my phone at the wrong moment there.
I mean, that was a full brake test because there was literally no reason why you'd brake. There's a complete full speed corner.
Even with no front wing.
Oh, Ben.
Ben very sensibly backed out of that last corner, and now he's under pressure from the lapped Jacko once again. MK Bourne just pulling away now, taking advantage of this, and Yuri is gaining somewhat decent time, but again, like Gareth said a few minutes ago, it does not matter because it is lap 44, so we're a lap and a half away from the competition caution.
Yes, so coming at on lap 46, and we will start to see pit stops being made shortly as well. Everyone's strapping on some soft tyres to go to the end. Jacko is going to get a tow off of Bazza, and Ben Harrett, who finally clears Bazza and will desperately wish to get away from the Welshman. Jacko cuts in between the two of them, and Bazza sweeps the inside. Has no front wing, which is the reason why he's so quick in a straight line, but I mean, if anything, it's like watching one of the house robots in Robot Wars with Bazza on circuit, because you never know when he's just going to randomly start attacking you. But Jacko does now get passed by Ben Harrett, and I imagine that will be the end of that battle for now, as Dan Price is, it is OKK that just took the normal racing line there. Is Michael, has he desynced from the lobby because he is taking the race track as usual?
Yeah, I can see all of that.
I wonder if there is in any way that we can try and get Michael back in.
I'll flick him another invite if need.
Because I'm just going to check the chat.
I've sent
I
him
think
an
he
invite,
might
so
still be in the lobby. I just don't know if he knows he's desynced or not. He's boxing. Oh, it's all going well.
yeah, he
for
will.
Michael
The game will
Okeke.
box him because he's been on those tyres 27 laps.
Well, he's going to have to. He comes in, serves a front wing, and puts on. Let's have a look. Some soft tyres. Does he know that he is either desynced or not? We will have to maybe. I don't know if they've got their open party, because he goes into one with Jacko and Ben, doesn't he?
I can PlayStation DM him, but I'm not
Yes.
sure if he has his notifications on or not.
Yeah, I'd give it a go just to see, or actually, if you Scott, you usually go into the chat with them. Can you check with Michael? Oh, he's now cutting, so he is back in. Because that was
he has
weird.
boxed one lap too early though to make it a mandatory.
Yes. So,
Unless he forgot what the
or was he doing
caution lap was.
Was he doing the caution lap early? Maybe.
And he just
Even
made
so,
a,
it was
an
said
error.
45. It said, what did it say on before we changed it? Because it was brought back a lap to 44. So
Yeah, but that was the stage
stage
point, that wasn't
stage
the
lap.
caution
Yeah,
lap.
stage lap was
no, it cost him
44.
45.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the front runners are going around in caution. So should it have been the lap before? Was Michael actually correct? and everybody else
That's what I'm
incorrect?
just thinking. Yeah, Michael was right. At the end of the end of 44, start of 45, and then 45. Oh God, Michael, Jesus Christ! Right, right.
So anyway, so it nullifies that issue. It'll go into another section.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
He's had
Regardless.
to double stack with Jacko. He's changed his front wing.
Right, so the
believe,
only
yeah.
thing now is all these cars that are currently lapped, having to pit, will need to try and unlap themselves. So
Florian
hopefully,
needs to box. Hopefully he boxes.
Florian will box this lap. I'm hoping Ben Harrett, if he's listening, will slow down enough on the next lap to allow everyone to catch up, so we can have a proper form up. Of course, it is only fair that we allow everyone to catch up and give ourselves the best possible restart with all the cars available. So Florian should do the decent thing here and pit. Don't do a Kieran, Florian. Make sure you do pit. You don't want to wait until it goes green again, because that is quite literally pointless, Kieran. But it will be Ben from Mike, from Yuri, from Dan, from Jacko and Bazza, who is charging through. Michael Okeke is the furthest one down of the C5 competitors, down in P8, but not out of it, crucially. Yuri's
boxes.
Yeah, Florian does box. So Ben needs a good getaway. Yuri has probably got the most amount of work to do, because he's going to be not only whilst you can say that the likes of Dan, Florian and Michael will be coming from the back, they'll get a mega tow. Yuri won't get as much of a tow and will have a lot of cars behind him, potentially scything down the inside. So he'll be in quite a dangerous position. But he is, of course, the closest to Ben on circuit. Ben Harrett, the master of the Speedway, looking to sew up a first Kia Series championship and finish off the Kia Series with another win here. He won it, of course, last season when it was part of the playoffs. He's slowing right down to allow Jake to catch up, and also Scott is unlapping himself for a second time. So I mean,
yes, I did message Ben just to confirm. Hence his very slow speeds. So he is, like you said, aware of all the lapped cars. So all, hopefully, touch wood, all lapped cars will catch up. Michael Massey, that's all lapped cars. Anyway.
Don't say anything, because you'll upset the Dutch. God forbid, no one likes that. Jos Verstappen to beat your door.
You know when you said all lap cars, Dustin needs to overtake everyone again.
He does.
He's on his way.
Off you go, Dustin. I mean, you're gonna have to floor it, and please don't spear into everyone as they cut across. But
oh my god, he got back onto the track, and I was like, please don't be a car there.
Right, so Scott is almost on the back. Dustin is on his way. Jake has now caught the back of the train. Right, so if everyone is listening, please remember which side to form up. So I believe it is evens on the right-hand side and odds on the left-hand side. So I'm pretty sure that's how it is.
I think so, yeah.
I think, yeah. So it will go 2 by 2, and it is still... Well, it's for Ben to dictate when he restarts, as here comes Scott again. Sure. How can you be this many laps down? There is no way he's catching up for another time. Ben's going to have to literally come to a full stop. There's no way Scott's catching up, but I mean, you can give it a go, Scott. For fuck's sake. 3 laps now. Ben Harrett actually, taking it properly slowly now. He would have been distraught to see Scott coming down the inside like, where the fuck have you been for the entire race? But no, Scott's actually boxed. Oh yeah, Scott has boxed. He was on 9. What on? I mean, he did say I've completely given up in the YouTube chat. But why wouldn't you have pitted earlier? Never mind. Scott will be out on his own doing his own thing. Fozzie has got another lap to catch up, so he's not going to catch up. There's no way that's going to happen by the end of this one, because these guys have only got 2 corners left to go. Dustin's frantically going to be trying to catch up in time, but I don't think it's going to happen. So we will have an 11-car restart, and it's going to be Ben Harrett leading it. MK Bourne will go with him in P2. Dan and Yuri P3 and P4. Jacko P5 as properly slowing down. I think they've just decided that, I mean, are they going to be friendly enough? I don't think it's going to happen. I think the boys are just going to miss out on this one. Ben Harrett is he's done his best to allow the other two to get involved, but is now running at 28 miles an hour for this restart, and it's going to be close. But I do think that they might maybe about 5 seconds short for Scott. Fozzie might just about catch the back of him, but here comes the restart. To finish off the Gear Series with a 5-lap dash to the flag. It's Ben Harrett on the front row of this one. We go green, and here we go. Ben Harrett leads us away. Who's going to get the final race in the Gear Series, the Championship 5? It's Ben Harrett from MK Bourne, from Yuri Haselaga in P3, Dan Price at P4, Jacko Baza P5, Florian and OKK P7 and P8. Ben Harrett, fantastic restart from him. There's tag there. There's contact between Dan Price and who was that? One of the is that Jacko as well. But it's Ben Harrett that gets away very nicely indeed. Already breaking away half a second ahead of MK Bourne. But here comes the slipstream, who utilises the DRS and the slipstream to catch back up to Ben Harrett.
Bazza, straight past Ben Spurs from nearly a second back down the longest straight on this calendar. And all of a sudden, what looked like Ben Spurs having it covered just is now down in 5th.
Yeah, fantastic restart from Bazza there. As you can see, everyone trying to find a place on the circuit. Ben Harrett is going to have to fight his way through a hornet's nest. Is he going to get back up to the front of this one? But it's Bazza from MK Bourne. Ben Spurs is still leading the Championship 5 because he's ahead of Dan Price. Dan Price right on the back of him now. They've both got DRS. They're going to open it and fight away for this one. You do not need to win the race to win the Championship 5. Dan Price is going to go down the outside of not only one, not two, but 3 cars here. And he's going to have to sweep around the outside. This is a bold move to go around the outside because you can very easily get clipped. But it is Ben Harrett that holds the inside line, holds the position, but, well, with 3.5 laps left to go in the race, this is going to go absolutely anywhere. There's side-to-side contact between the two C5 competitors, Dan Price and Ben Harrett. Florian Meyer and Yuri sitting just behind them. We're 4 wide going down the Mistral Straight.
This is anyone's game. All 5 championship drivers in the top 6, with a couple of drivers not involved, but want to get involved. They want to get the final win of the season, final win of the Kia Series. But it's Dan who's leading the way at the moment. He's got a nice little lead, but is it enough? There's plenty of laps to go. We know what Ben Harrett's pace is like. He's going to drag that horde of cars that follow him through the final corner to start lap 50. Fastest lap for Dan. Has he got it what it takes to take it to the end?
0.8 of a second is the gap.
I'm so surprised that they are still all going in a straight line. This is amazing to watch. I'm so glad I'm actually not racing because I'd be petrified to take somebody out.
And crucially, Dan Price has broken DRS on that lap. He's now 1.1 seconds in front. But they do I think they've got enough. So it was Bazza that was the only one that didn't get DRS. He didn't get DRS on on Dan. But the guys behind will utilise it to get back in that 1 second window. So Dan Price's 1 second reprieve is now back down to 0.7 of a second. We're about to start lap 51 of 53, and somehow, I'm about to jinx it, but all of these guys down to P8 are still pointing in the right direction.
I think this is still anyone's. This could get a little bit messy towards the end. The Florian's done very well himself, get himself up there. He now sits net P2, but he's not really got the toe of the drive ahead. Yuri now ahead of Ben Harrett up to P3 as Ben goes side by side with we've got Jake in the wall out the final corner. Hopefully Jess and Dustin behind don't collect him. They do not. They get through nice and cleanly as we head on to the DRS straight yet again, but this time everyone's going to get a piece of the cake. DRS for everyone except for Dan Price. He's got the pace. Is he going to hold the lead once again? It's single file. Will we make it 3-4 wide as we enter the fast right-hander? Ben's going to have the inside. Florian to the outside. Yuri wants to get between the middle of them, but sticks behind Ben Harrett. He gets a little bit of a bump from Mike Kelterborn behind. We've got Bazza up the inside as well, but still facing the right direction is Yuri. He lost it here last week in the Cup Series. Can he survive, essentially?
And it's Ben Spurs has got himself into the prime position on the back of Dan. He's going to have Dan before they even get to what's the actual turn one. So it's going to be a fight between these two. Florian is still, I say these two, it's still a fight between any of them, but it's Florian, Dan,
Harry
and
Collier out as well now.
Yeah, same
Florian,
corner.
Dan, Ben.
Yeah, penultimate lap of the season, and we've got the Championship 5 all within a second of each other, effectively. Even though Michael Okeke is down in 8th position, he is still within a chance of winning this one. It's Ben Harrett from Yuri, from Dan Price, from Florian. So that's 4 of the 5 in the top 4 positions. And this is going to go right down to the final corner of the last lap of the season. Ben Harrett holds the inside line. That's what you need to do on this last lap. You need to make sure no one sits it down the inside. He almost gets tagged by Dan Price, who desperately wants to get turned. He's going to get turned by a Mike Kelterborn. Dan Price, what a disaster for him. He was running so well. Mike Kelterborn just got in the way, just tagged him, turned him around. That is one of them out of contention. So that leaves Ben Harrett from Yuri. So Yuri looking for his 3rd championship. He's got Florian in P3 and Michael Okeke up to P7, but it's not out of the question that one of these guys will win it, because Ben Harrett, he's not going to have it easy. He's going to have the guys behind with DRS down the Mistral Straight. So Ben is going to have the launch of his life out of this final corner, because it's going to be Yuri and Florian, and this is going to go down with 3 corners left to go in the season. 3 of the top 5 in the top 3. Michael Okeke in P5. He's just out of reach of the guys. I'm 1.3 seconds behind, but we've got 3 of the 5 battling it out for this one. MK Bourne, he wants to get involved in it as well. Florian, power move down the inside. Ben Harrett, he's going to hold the inside. No, Florian's down the inside. They tag, and that's Florian tagged out of this one. Ben Harrett, unfortunately, getting into contact with Florian. He's 2 of them out. Ben Harrett holds the lead, and I think that's it, because Yuri's down to P3 now. Mike Kelterborn desperately trying to find a way past him, but I think this is going to be Ben Harrett's to lose. It is across the line, as Mike is going to steal it on the line, but it is Ben Harrett, your champion in the Kia Series for Season 8, All-Star 8, and it's Ben from Yuri. Jacko picks up P4, Bazza P5. Florian will be absolutely gutted with that, tagged by Ben Harrett on the last lap, drops to P6. Michael Okeke P7, Dan Price equally tagged by Mike Kelterborn. He finishes in P8, and it looked as though both Florian and Dan could have been winners in that one. Yuri just fell away in the last lap, but it is Ben Harrett, your champion for the Kia Series in the final race of the Kia Series Season 8. And it's everyone's worst nightmare. But he loses the race win by 0.03 of a second. But he won't care. He is your Kia Series champion.
Yes, congratulations, Mr. Spurs. But thank you, Mike Kelterborn. My 6 race victories in a season. That statistic is still alive. But it's not about me. It's Ben Spurs with a very dominant Kia Series season, really. He started strong, finishes stronger. What a season for these gents, but what a season for the Cup Series man racing in Kia Series.
It's not bitter at all.
Nah, just go biting his tongue between his teeth as he says those final few words. But yeah, and that final move from Ben on Florian will not go to the stewards. As we've mentioned, you can get your elbows out on the final lap. And it was for a championship, and Ben did it perfectly. He gets crowned the Season 8 Kia Series champion. He didn't take victory as others have before, but it doesn't really matter. He's the one tasting champagne at the end of the race. Mike is your race winner. He gets his 3rd race win of the season after going back-to-back in the regular season. He'll be happy with that, as he is in the chat. But that's for end of the Kia Series. That's Mike from Ben, your Championship 5 winner. Yuri takes home P2 in the Championship with Jacko in P4. And it's Bazza. Florian will be 3rd in the Championship with Michael Okeke coming home in 4th. Dan Price having that little moment before the final lap in P8 is your final P5 runner for the Championship. Jess P9, Dustin P10, Scott, 11, and then your DNS from Harry, Sully and Rico, who might as well have not turned up because he didn't even set one lap.
Yeah, but what a result as Yuri misses out on a third championship by a quarter of a second. That was the gap across the line. So Yuri thankfully misses out on becoming a three-time champion by literally 0.250 of a second. So he will be disappointed, but I think that might be the best sprint to the flag that we've had in the Speedway across the Cup Series and the Kia Series, with the fact that the championship was on the line. So congratulations to all the guys that were in that one. Commiserations go out to Dan and Florian, who were unfortunately when you're in that sort of situation there are always casualties, and the fact that it was two of the Championship 5 protagonists will be slightly galling, but to get to a Championship 5 is no mean feat at all. Which completes the season. Congratulations, Ben. He is your debutant Kia Series champion in his rookie season here in the Kia Series. Yes, he's quick, but it's only really in the last 3 seasons he's actually turned up. But it's Speedway. He's definitely a Speedway specialist, and proved it tonight by probably being the comfortable leader out front. But what a restart we had there. Really enjoyed it, and enjoyed your company, boys. Thanks for joining us, Pete, from the start, and Sally from the end, and luckily we managed to sort out your voices.
Yeah, my pleasure. I glad to be here when it started, glad to be here when it finished.
Yes, very much so. And Peter, any final words from you before we thank everyone and finish up?
It's been an honour commentating with you, Gareth. Having to take the reins while you've been away, it's a little bit of a struggle, but I've had the Speed HQ to help me out. We've had some good races and good laughs in that. It was a good idea to introduce that as well, to keep the entertainment alive for the streams for the final time in the Kia Series. Well, that is it. That is the end. And Gareth is probably celebrating that it's over, and it's finally over, and he's slamming the door for the Kia Series himself. It's been a pleasure, and I'm sad to say it's the end.
It is. You're right. That is the end of the Kia Series. They are coming to a completion. There will be 2 more races in the Cup Series, Mexico on Thursday, and then the Championship 5 in Abu Dhabi in 2 weeks' time. So you've still got a little bit of Jackocar to see you up to Christmas before the end of that as well, before it potentially comes something different. Who knows? And we come back for iRacing on for NASCAR at the end of 2025. But before we go, just like to say a big thank you to everyone that has been part of the streams, whether it be all my co-commentators, the likes of Yuri, of Owen, of Jacko, Pete, Sully, Ben Shaw, Kieran's done a couple. Thank you to everyone that's previously commentated. Known Cheetah, Evil Dragon, of course, getting involved in that one as well. Danny Quinn was a previous commentator. Congratulations to all our champions in the Kia Series, the likes of who have we got? MK Bourne, was it? Who think Bourne was the first one? Who was the first one? I'm pretty sure it was MK Bourne. Was it?
SD
Matt. Sorry, yeah, SD Matt's first one. And of course, then we had Niels, we've had Yuri, we've had Leroy, we've had Sullivan, and we have had Ben Harrett as well. Who am I missing in between? I'm sure I'm missing someone else, but
yeah, but I think you're missing the season 6 champion.
Yes, yes, and weirdly I'm missing him. I wonder who that was. Fuck Wace. So yeah, congratulations to all those guys that could be, but also to everyone that has come here and been part of Jackocar. It has been a pleasure commentating with you. Whilst it has been an absolute clusterfuck, sometimes the racing has been terrible for the last few seasons because of lack of numbers and lack of but I've thoroughly enjoyed being able to come here, take the piss out of you all, enjoy our Tuesday nights. Hopefully you've enjoyed the racing, you've enjoyed my company. But that is us for the Kia Series and for Jackocar. We will be back, or Owen and Jacko will be back on Thursday for Mexico, where you will see Speed Gareth underscore Speed underscore Gareth, whatever my fucking username is, win the race and get into the Championship 5 and then go win in Abu Dhabi. That is the plan, so make sure you tune in on Thursday for that. But for tonight, My name has been Gareth Hall. I've been joined by Pete Knighton and by Sullivan Lewis, part of Team Speed. And yes, it is all coming to an end, but I hope you've all enjoyed the ride. We will see you on Thursday. From me, good night. See you soon.
Ta-da.
Bye.
In the road on moonlit night, Garrett stands tall in the fading light. The engines roar one final sound, memories echo all around. Fans in the stands with tears in their eyes. The track's a stage where heroes rise. Drivers gave their hearts and soul. Now it's time to fill the final role. Thanks for the memories we had. Every win and loss, both happy and sad. From the start to the very last race, grateful for every smile on road. The laps we led, the curves we bent, moments cherished, the times we spent. Through the highs and the lows we flew, Jackocar days now bidding adieu. In the rear view see the past, good times gone but meant to last. A legacy built on grit and grace. Now it's time to leave this place. Thanks for the memories we had. Every win and loss, both happy and sad. From the start to the very last race, grateful for every smile on road. We bent, moments cherished, the times we spent. Through the highs and the lows we flew, Jackocar days now bidding adieu. In the rearview